it is working like 2 months and something, which is really like wow for me. Good morning, guys! Welcome to my channel. Here I want to share some tricks of my productiveness with you because I'm feeling like last 2 months super effective. I will describe you why. So, my organizational path has a very long story. Since youth, I was suffering from a problem of wanting too much to do and doing not that much. Mainly that were the problems like the books that I wanted to read. Since youth, really, my parents were buying me a lot of encyclopedias and I always want to read them, but didn't really do that. And second topic was educational topics, like after each semester at school and later at university, I was like, okay, now I'm so motivated, I have now vacation, holidays, whatever, and I will really sit and learn everything. And I did nothing because occasionally it was end of these holidays, like the last day, and I'm like realizing what? Of course, I was learning something and reading something, and actually a lot, but not everything what I wanted. And currently the interests have changed, and I will never get back to that things. And yeah, this is how it works. And it was never measurable. Like, what have I done? What I have as a result? I had no idea, and I always was feeling guilty, like I didn't do anything, and I shouldn't lie here and watch series because I didn't do anything. So this guilt was really like a poison in my life, and currently I've resolved this problem. And by 2012, I've realized my problems, admitted them. For example, I admitted that I have a lot of interests. I cannot concentrate on something single because it just became boring for me, and I admitted that. Second one, I admitted that I have really various organizational, motivational tips and ways to organize myself, because before I was like always trying to choose one and follow it till the end of my life, but now I admitted that I have plenty of them and all of them are working together. And this is the system that I'm using since end of 2019, and currently it is March of 2020. And it is working like 2 months and something, which is really like wow for me. And I want to share with you because I feel like I'm on top of my effectiveness and being productive and without wasting any time. Now we go directly to the points. So first one, time tracking calendar. You can see it also here. And yeah, this is just I'm showing because this was my first one. This is exactly what helped me to organize my energy. This is a little bit by analogy with time tracking at work, because I really like login systems. You can get back and see what you have done and what were the problems and just if you were good or not. And I decided to apply it in my life. I'm tracking every day, like what have I done. Here you can see 4 weeks every day listed, valuable for me personally topics on what I wanted to track the time I'm spending. So my topics were like reading, professional development, German, English, learning the languages, and like some useful things. Then you can see different colors of the day. I'm coloring it with yellow, for example, when I was lazy and didn't do anything and just was too tired or something, so whatever. And then you can see light green. This is when I at least sit and did something. Maybe not so extra, but at least I did something. Yeah, so read some books, spend some time for some Nützlichkeit. This is auf Deutsch. And yeah, then you can see here a dark green. This is where I'm really satisfied with myself. I've spent the whole day on doing something. I mean, the whole free time, and I'm really glad with the results. Like, I've invested my evening into myself. And then pink, some events that where like holidays, for example, New Year, where I didn't do anything, but I don't blame myself because of course we'll have events like trips, like coming guests and so on, so it's alright for me. I don't blame myself. And at the end of the week, you see, I was summarizing generally like what amount of time I spent. And I found out that with this calendar, I'm really like now spending a lot of time. For example, I'm a person who is always reading books, but my always was like, not that well always as with this calendar, because here now I see, okay, today I read 2 hours, tomorrow I read, oh god, somewhere 4 hours. Here I didn't read anything. The time, the days goes by, but I keep myself motivated to read more. I didn't download the template from anywhere because I already knew what I need. I had already an idea that was like working for me quite a long time in my head, and I just opened Excel and created this table in Excel for 4 weeks because I didn't really know how it will go and didn't want to press myself, of course. And also this was my second month, so from end of January till middle of February. Oh, and by the way, I got a new color here, like dark green with superstar, because I like, wow, did everything. And you see, I was adjusting the calendar for me. So here, for example, I added sport, but I've never did that so far. And in this my new calendar you can find YouTube, because I found it also relevant for me. This system works for me already 3rd month. I still keep myself motivated, energized, and yeah, as I showed you, you can see it here. Yeah, that was the first one. Alright, the next thing is my goals list. With this goals list, I have organized myself regarding this multi-vision of everything. I understand that today I want this, I can want it at least like 2 days or 3 days, but in a week I might not even want to do it. And as a result, I don't have really, some outcome. I don't have it. That's why I decided to sign myself some goals. I just took a paper and was writing these goals like quite during the week, something that I really find useful for me, and like I must do it whatever it costs me, and whenever changes inside my head. And so here you can find 13 points, just because this was the size of the paper, and I wanted not to go on any new list of goals until I finish these ones. You see, currently I'm like in the middle of everything. Here are the goals, like to write website to my sister, then to gain some certificates where they, to read some, Oxford Intermediate book, just want to repeat, green grammatic for German, and YouTube, some analysis of evolution, this is something personal, and so on. And so to cook Russian very tasty dish. So that was also my goal, so whatever. And I'm committed to them, doing them, and they keep me organized and have some outcome instead of nothing. Okay, the next one is the bowl. This is how I call her, because this is a bowl, and here is the story. You know, it's not always effective to put yourself goals, because you cannot achieve them, or they are too big, too small, whatever. And in this case, this is important that you are just moving in some direction, And we were discussing it with my husband, who made an analogy like humans' knowledge is like a bowl, and you are filling it with some knowledge, and it will never disappear because you are filling your experience and knowledge with some new stuff. And I decided like, this is a really great idea, and I just visualized it on paper. And currently I'm here just writing that I did something for myself. Like, I've read some book, I've recorded some videos for YouTube, I've analyzed something, and I'm just writing here, not dependent on amount of achievement, just writing it here. I bought a dog because I also wanted it, so it was my goal. And yeah, I will be feeling that till the end, and then we'll have a new one, I hope. And just to see that whatever I'm doing, this goes somewhere. And for next, my purposes perfectly suit Trello. If somebody doesn't know, but I believe a lot of people already know that Trello is a system of boards, to-do lists and so on. And why I find it effective, because here I can write like really long-term to-do lists. It can be shared. For example, we had a shared one with my husband, but then we just got a little bit like separated in our goals and to-do list, so I just switched to myself. So I just switched to mine own board and he switched to his. But anyway, it helps to write some learned terms to do things. Also good. The next one is just notebooks. I have a very beautiful, very super nice notebook just bought in Germany here, and it helps me to see some results. So what I'm writing here, for example, this is analysis of evolution, so some psychological description of everything of myself, so something what I got and analyzed. If anybody would be interested, I will leave a link in the bottom, but this is like a Russian service, so I don't know if there are analogies in English. So okay, and what I'm writing here, for example, I've started to read book in English. This was my first reading book that I read in English. This was like really a big event for me, and I've started to write the words, everything, just here some citates, and yeah, so whatever I find good for me, like that. Then for example, I'm currently putting in my calendar to see and have tracking it there. Yeah, and we'll put whatever I find useful, but this is something where I need to express myself. Yes, so not to organize, but just to see the results here. And the next trick is just having simple to-do lists on paper. This is useful when you're in family, you need some house duties to do, and for example, with my husband, when we need to clean the apartment and just, oh, nobody wants to do that, but then we write a list and doing everything, crossing everything. This is really satisfying, you know, and that's why I'm not transferring these tiny things to do into some app, because in app you're just like archiving or deleting this done stuff, and here you can cross. So also helps to organize. And the last thing what I'm doing, I'm normally have some thoughts occurring just occasionally in my head, and I want to write it down, but there is no opportunity and no time to write everything down. So I'm just doing audio recordings in my phone, so I can express everything for later. I'm promising myself that I later will put it to this desk and like do everything, but depends. And yeah, not to lose what in the head. And the very, very last thing I'm doing, what will motivate me to record videos for YouTube on Salesforce and programming and to everything, is this page. So YouTube, I have a goal of 100 videos. I also like committed to myself, the same as with these 13 points, so the same attitude. And I decided, yeah, to also have it visually somewhere and just put some done, yes, green stuff. So yeah, that were all my ways to keep myself motivated and organize myself, and all of them are really working for me, but we will see how it goes. At the end of 2020, I will record a new video showing you how the things have changed since now, and if it helps, if something was obsolete, became obsolete, and whatever. But generally, what I want to say, For me, it was always confusing to get a question like, what would you do at the last day of your life? Because I'm like always, oh, what can I do if this is already the last day? For me, I cannot do everything what I want within the whole life, so one day would be definitely not enough. I hope these things might help you to organize yourselves and to analyze your behavior, your wishes, and to increase your productivity and to achieve your goals in life. Thank you. Bye.